group number 2, and then we have a second group number 2. So group number 2 who is over here, and then we'll get group number 2 who is out in the hall. All right.
Go Bruce Rock!
So I think the main thing we talked about is what are new genres considered, and kind of some of the things we talked about were temporary or pop-up arts, alternative materials, interactive or participatory arts, new media and technology, which would include geocaching, generative art, or social media work, takeaway art, so maybe people are making things and then taking them away. An idea that was discussed was maybe using CPS schools for using students to make small pieces of a larger sculpture and then working that up. We talked about working with neighborhoods and engaging the neighborhoods, and instead of putting something into a neighborhood, allocating already their resources and talent and figuring out what they need to actually accomplish their already goals instead of giving them new goals. And we talked a lot about transformation, whether it's transformation of an old building, an abandoned building, old genres, which are not old genres, but traditional genres such as sculpture, photography that could be maybe remixed into a new way. Cross-discipline was talked about.
Yeah, and then we also spoke about not getting rid of, like you mentioned, old genres, but also looking at existing programming and being able to make connections across communities, both with arts administrators and artists, to start developing some of the same programming, such as pop-up art loop or street performance in communities that have thus far not had that type of programming.
And I think one last comment is how do we keep already existing quality street art? So if there's already street work happening, how do we make a system within the city to keep that work and keep that part of our culture instead of trying to commission something new?
And then how do we also start to change the conversation around what is street art? And for the artists that are non-academic artists, how can the city better support those pieces of artwork and allow those artists to flourish as well?
All right, second group number 2. Come on up here.
Yeah, so our group talked a lot about the pop-up art, which was discussed previously, so I guess I'll touch on a couple of other areas of exciting and meaningful art forms that we brought up, areas where you can get lost in meditation, gardens, mazes, different sculpture parks. We also discussed working with nature, different beaches where there are stones on top of stones, and kind of using pieces that are already there. We also did talk about the monumental pieces such as the bean, big fountains. Those were also something that people liked. We weren't a fan of over-branding marketing for the sake of marketing and getting a community excited about an exciting event or art that's going to happen when really it was just kind of to get a singular name out there. Poor quality art, and how we wouldn't want to see a mural of a famous person just not be given the honor that it deserves. And we also talked about what we would like to see, and that's kind of what we were discussing earlier on, that we're a city of neighborhoods, and we'd like to see it not all be centralized into the downtown, but see it spread out between all the great mix of a city that we are. Recycling materials that we already have and storage, the repurposing of, say, different slides and stones that we have from parks, and bringing that into opportunities. I know you guys touched on bringing that along with the school children. Also creating an informational portal, where and who do you need to be talking to get out into the parks, to get out into the streets, a place where you know your political figures that you should be speaking with, and also your business partners. And then also fun points of creating a fleet of artists in the way that we have ice cream trucks, bring in some art trucks and create some artists and art on the go for youth and